Alright, hello and welcome to the weather update. It's January 15th, 2019. And unfortunately, we have not had any clear days this week so far. And I really thought we were, but apparently, this pesky Cirrus has been around. And so we haven't had clear skies. We have had, though, some nice sunsets. But for the most part, we've been dealing with cloud cover at some point. And we have not had clear skies or skies that are nice. I'll just put it that way. Kind of junked up looking skies. All that Cirrus and all those contrails. So anyway, I'm going to start off with looking at this satellite image, and we're going to take a look at this satellite image here, high resolution satellite from the MODIS, and you can see the cloud cover over our area. What you can also see that I want to point out is where that snow fell. Look at all the snow here in on the Delmarva, Maryland, Delaware, into southern New Jersey, and you can see where it goes. It goes just south. This Toms River over here. Looks like it melted over Toms River, but to the south of that, you could see there's still snow cover there because the temperatures have been below freezing for the most part for the past couple of days. Let's take a little look at a later image there. You can see the Cirrus overspreading the area, and if you look, you can see all those contrails, which I can't stand, all over the area. So unfortunately, junky sky today. We go ahead and we look at yesterday. We had this cloud cover here. If we go back to an earlier image, you'll see that the cloud cover was covering most of our area for most of the day yesterday, except once we got to around 2 o'clock, it started clearing up, and that was from that storm that hit us on Sunday. So anyway, you can see here that here is, again, that snow right here over Jersey, which is pretty interesting to see. Let's see if we can get a better image of that. We can't really, because the clouds pretty much are over. But you can see that the clouds pretty much have kind of hung over the area here yesterday. So we didn't really get a clear day yesterday. And then for Sunday, that was the storm. And you can see what happened on Sunday, actually. We had cloud cover over our area, and this is the storm. While it was snowing in Jersey, Long Island actually had some breaks of sunshine, and by the afternoon we actually had a decent amount of sunshine, and maybe some clear skies depending on where you were, but again, that was the only real chance we had some clear skies. But it just shows you where the storm was, so I wanted to show you that. Let's take a look at the current temperatures right now outside. 22 at West Hampton, so it's going to be another cold night at West Hampton again, and I want to show you how cold it got yesterday in West Hampton. So let me just make this a little larger here so you can see that. Alright, so it hit 36 in West Hampton, but it got down to 8 degrees this morning at West Hampton. So it's a clear night, or fairly clear with maybe some contrails, but that's not going to stop the radiational cooling. And you can see that it really did drop like a rock last night at West Hampton. Once the sun went down from after, like, say, this point, 29, 23, 20 to 15. So that's because it's in the Pine Barrens. That's a good spot for radiational cooling. When the winds are light and the skies are clear and the air is dry, you get that radiational cooling there, and that's why it got down to like 8 degrees. For the rest of us, I'm thinking probably didn't get as cold. I'll check iSlip and see if it got as cold there. So let's see. Probably not as cold. Yeah, see, much warmer there, 18 degrees. So that's why. But today was around seasonal. But you could see lots of clouds around, according to these observations here. And I want to look at one more place for the observations, and that is Toms River, because sometimes that site can get cold too at night, and they had the snow cover, so I'm curious to see if that helped them get any colder. Let's see, it got down to 12 last night. Not as cold as West Hampton. Not as cold as West Hampton. So West Hampton always is the cold spot. So let's go to the models now, and let's see what the GFS has in store for us. We're going to first take a look at the long range. We'll take a look at the pattern for the next, I'd say, week or so. And you can see we have this high pressure, but the problem is the center of it is not over us. So we're getting all this cirrus that's coming down to the jet stream. And then tomorrow what's going to happen is we have this clipper system coming down. So we're going to see a little bit of a warm-up, highs up to near 40, but when this Clipper system passes and a cold front passes, the temperatures are going to drop, and it's going to stay below freezing on Thursday. Highs probably only around 30 degrees. See, there's the high, but it's going by to the north, which doesn't mean clear sky, because you're going to already have cirrus rolling in from this next system here. And this is another small system here for Friday that's going to actually, it's going to take an inland track, so believe it or not, it'll bring in the warm air, and it'll actually be rain according to the GFS. Might start off as some snow, and then a much larger system approaches us on Saturday. And you can see here is a much larger system here, and the models have been kind of all over the place with the track of this. Yesterday the runs were kind of having it more southerly and giving us snow. Now it's back. It looks like it's back to a more inland track, bringing in the warm air and meaning mostly rain. Might start as snow, but it's going to be rain, heavy rain, probably Sunday morning. Yeah, rainstorm. Even though we're in the cold air, we're still getting rainstorms. So we might get a little snow at the end as that moves away, and then in comes finally some really cold Arctic air, and hopefully maybe by Monday we'll have some clear skies, which would be nice. You know, it's a lot to ask for to have a mostly sunny sky these days. And then that system it moves through quickly, and then another system develops behind that. Return flow Tuesday into Wednesday, and this one again an inland track. Looks like this one tracks right over more heavy rain for Wednesday night into Thursday, and then that moves on, and then we get the cold air behind that. But you get the idea of what's happening here. We're not really getting any snowstorms here, which is very unusual. I mean, I don't want a huge snowstorm, but it's very unusual. It's not normal to go through the month of January without having a significant snowfall, and you know, and so far it just doesn't look like we're going to see anything right now. So that's the problem we have. Basically in the long range. I'll look at the euro. Well, we'll look at the euro. I guess we can look at the euro and see that. Just see how the euro tracks everything here. I'll look at a couple of the models here. The euro again, same thing with the high going to the north, and then that system. It's pretty much the euro is in agreement now with that inland track, so it's looking less and less likely that we're going to see a snowstorm this weekend. Behind that, though, we get into some bitterly cold air, but it's quick. And then it starts moving out later on Tuesday and into Wednesday. It's out, and then we get a return flow of warmer air. And when the next system comes, it'll be rain too. So this is the situation we're in right now. For those who want snow, what can I tell you? I just don't see any hope right now. Let's go and look at the closer view here and see. So now we'll look at the clouds, and you can see here this patch of high clouds over us on the GFS run. And what happens tomorrow, they clear out, but as the morning rolls on, you see another batch of clouds rolling in. And the problem with this is that we don't have a block pattern. We don't have a block in the atmosphere. Or a block basically means when there's a high in Greenland, it just keeps the flow directly out of the northwest and keeps these systems to the south. We don't have that, so what's going on is we keep getting system after system after system bringing clouds. So it starts off clear Wednesday, but then as we move it to 18Z, you'll see, boom, the clouds roll in on us, and we have probably a high overcast by Wednesday afternoon. This is a part of a cold front that's going to be moving through, but the cold front doesn't really make it all the way through, and as a result, you can see the front kind of drooping down here. But look at that. The clouds roll right back in again us on Thursday. So again, Thursday, probably a veil of high clouds over us, be cloudy. Again, with these damn clouds. And then Friday, we have the next system coming in. This is the weak system there. That moves out. And then we're pretty much in the clouds. We're going to be in the clouds from like Thursday straight through probably Sunday. And then once that front moves through, finally, it looks like we might get out of it by Monday. Finally, but we're going to have to wait till Monday to get some clear sky around here. What a disappointment again. And then Tuesday, it looks like more clouds, and I'm not going to go any further past that. That's over a week now away. But anyway, let's look at some of the other models when it comes to the cloud cover, and then we'll look at the how the next precipitation events are going to go. Again, you see. Starts off clear tomorrow, but the clouds build up. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe it'll be okay till like 11 o'clock. but I think the clouds roll in by then. And then more clouds, and then here comes Thursday, more clouds. Now, if we were in Maine, where it would be bitterly cold, it would be clear there, or upstate. But unfortunately, the clouds roll in here. You can see that Thursday is going to be junky, so let's go and look at. All right, we'll go and look at the precipitation. Let's see how well this doesn't really go far enough out to the next precipitation event. Not the NAM. So I'll go and we'll go to temperatures. We'll look at the temperatures and show you here. All right, because this will show up the front really well. So you can see here tomorrow gets a little warmer. We get near 40. And then here comes that front for Thursday. All right, but the problem is the core of the cold air kind of just goes by to the north again, so we don't really get into that clear air. If we were in Maine, we probably would have temperatures in the single digits, but we'd have a nice clear sky, or maybe single digits, maybe some teens, with a nice clear sky if we were in Maine. But that's not what's going to happen. We're going to have highs around 30 with those clouds around, unfortunately. So yeah, I know I'm not happy about it either. And just to show you, I'll show you the dew point. This air is very dry too, so show you again. Look at those low dew points there, negative 20 dew points. But that we'll get our piece of cold air Monday, and I'm going to show you that right now. So let's go and change models to the GFS, and we'll change this back to the temperatures, and we'll see what happens. So tomorrow again, GFS has us going up to near 40. And then this other front comes through from the north, but again it gets hung up, so we don't really get into the core. If this was coming straight down, we would have had a nice clear day, but it's not. So it'll be increasing cloudiness on Thursday and cold with temperatures around 30. And then Friday, well, we'll talk about the precipitation. You can see the temperatures coming up, and that's why that precipitation is going to turn to rain on Friday. And then for Saturday, you see there's another little batch of cold air that tries to come down. And then Saturday we're in the low 30s, but here comes this next system, and with that track to the west, you'll see we'll be above free. We may even hit 50 on Sunday, according to the GFS, before that very strong cold front comes through in the late afternoon, early evening hours, and then the temperatures drop like a rock. And then by Monday morning, we will be in the single digits to around 10 degrees in most of the area, with that really cold air coming in. You can see, look at those temperatures. If you go not too far north, there might be even some 0-degree readings. So it's going to be a really cold shot of air on Monday, but it's going to be brief. And then we'll probably struggle to get to near 20 degrees on Monday. And then as we go into Tuesday, you can see the cold air lifts out back into the mid-30s, which is seasonal. And then same thing for you can see Wednesday, Thursday. I don't want to go too far. You get the idea that after that it won't be terribly cold again until probably the next weekend. It looks like another plunge sets up for next Sunday, January the 27th. But I don't really want to go too far into the long range for that. You see, it does stay below normal. The question is, can we get some clear skies? That is the question. So now let's take a look at the precipitation that we will be looking at for the next couple of days here. And the storm tracks and everything. So this next little system comes in Friday morning. You see, it might start off as snow, but it's going to change to rain as the temperatures rise. So we're going to have rain on Friday. Not a really heavy rain event. Probably, let's see what it says here for 24-hour accumulated precipitation. Yeah, probably only about maybe a quarter of an inch. Yeah, that's not too much. And then the bigger storm comes on Saturday into Sunday. You see it approaching in a very strong system, but again, it takes an inland track, and therefore we're in the warm air, and we could have some really heavy rain out of it. And then at the tail end, there might be a little bit of snow, but it probably won't be all that much. Probably we'll be lucky if we get an inch out of that, unless this slows down as it's exiting. Take a look at the rainfall for that system, and I'm sure it's going to be on the heavy side. Yep, especially eastern Long Island. It could be over an inch to 2 inches perhaps across the area. And look at the snowfall and see how that works. Now, not even giving us anything now. It's giving us nothing. So we won't even get any snow with that. But I mean, it bears watching. The track could change, but right now the models seem to be agreeing on this inland track for this storm. I can look at some other models. We'll look at the. I don't know if the ICON goes out that far. I think it doesn't really go out far enough. But I think the ICON is in agreement too with that as well. ICON does have it a little colder for the light system on Friday, however. But I'm thinking that's probably going to be rain. So, yeah. So unfortunately, it does not look like we're going to see any snow right now in the forecast. In fact, if I go to the total snowfall, man, we put this all the way toward the end of the period. Let's see. Nothing for our area. So upstate, yeah, all the snow is going to fall upstate because of these storm tracks. And what's going to happen is the coast, maybe we'll get a couple of light snowfalls, maybe. But right now, for snow lovers, it's not looking good. And hopefully things will change and get a little more wintry for February. I mean, I'm not a big fan of big snowstorms, but snow is part of winter, and to not have any snow is really unusual and very concerning. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. It'll be nice to have a little snow. What I really want is just some clear skies, and unfortunately, we just don't seem to have it. We just don't seem to be getting any clear skies, unfortunately. And if you go, I want to look at another model called the Clear Sky Clock, and you see this. What you want is these blocks here are dark blue. You want both of these dark blue, but they're not dark blue, and that indicates this top block indicates if this top block is blue or dark blue, it indicates no low clouds. But if this is like light like this, it means high clouds. So I want to actually just do something for a minute. That's the one for Brookhaven, and just want to play around. Let's just torture ourselves and look and see what the weather is doing in Flagstaff right now, because I bet you it's going to clear out there. Yeah, it'll clear out there by Thursday. Looks like they'll have a nice clear day, maybe, but they've been having some clouds around too, but they've been having some clearer weather. I could just put the weather forecast in for Flagstaff as well, and we can actually just see. Just for laughs, that'll be the last part of this weather update. They're right now. They're much warmer than they have been, because we have the trough, and they have actually 32 degrees. Actually, not that warm, but they have a lot of chances for snow and precipitation around. But the weekend, it doesn't look bad there. Saturday, sunny, high near 39. Sunday, sunny, high near 45. Martin Luther King Day, sunny, high near 41. Sunny, high near 38. So even, yeah, I mean, they just have nice weather there. That's the climate that is much easier to deal with. We'll just look at the 3-day history, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So I think they've had a lot of clouds around the past. Yeah, they've had a lot of clouds too. For a while, actually, in a couple of days. I mean, they can have their cloudy spells too. It just seems like we have more of it. What can I tell you? I'll end it with this clear sky, with this high-resolution satellite again. Just this crap here. This Sirius is disgusting. See all the contrails. It's not. It doesn't really want. You want to go out there and and go into the pines, and you want to have that nice blue sky. It's just the best way to appreciate it, and you just can't get it. It's really annoying. Anyway, that's going to be it. Don't want to rant about it, but it is annoying. It is annoying. It wasn't like this when I was younger. We always had clear weather. It was clear, cold days were a big thing in the winter when I was growing up. Now it's like such a rarity because of climate change. But again, there are people out there that just don't believe in climate change, despite the fact that the science says otherwise. Some people just don't want to listen to science, even though all they have to do is look out the window. They just don't want to accept it because they just want to keep driving that huge SUV and keep polluting the air like it's going out of style just because they have an ego. All right, you know who I'm ranting about. I'm not mentioning his name, but you know who I'm ranting about. And I hope and pray that this man is impeached somehow, because worst president this country has ever had, ever. And there's a government shutdown, and that's affecting the weather products. That's the other thing I want to bring up, that there is a government shutdown. It is affecting the weather products. The Weather Service is not issuing snowfall and rainfall reports because it's not considered an essential thing. So they're only reporting on essential stuff. That's the other thing about the government shutdown. Just figured I'd let you know about that. You know who to thank for that. You know who to thank for that. I hope, this ends soon. If it takes having him removed from office to get the government running again, then so be it. All right, he needs to go. All right. Anyway, that's it. Sorry about that. I shouldn't rant about him. It's kind of off topic, but it does kind of affect the weather. It affects the climate. It affects the environment. And it affects the weather reports because I can't get the rainfall totals and the snowfall totals for you because of what's going on right now. And there's federal workers that aren't getting paid. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's just a disaster. And I think Trump needs to be removed and impeached. He is not a sane man. He has lost his mind. He is not fit to be president. All right, that's it for this weather up. And this is coming from a conservative, all right? I'm conservative. But I think he is the worst president this country has ever had. All right, that's it. And I brought up his name. Anyway, I'm sorry. Have a good night.